Yubel, otherwise known as Best Girl, is the first and only third-class mage of the group to skip second grade and move right to a first-class promotion. This is mostly due to Yubel not being ranked correctly by the Continental Association of Magic for reasons we'll be getting into shortly, but as a poor girl born in a poor village, Yubel was raised mostly by her older sister. Due to their low income status, Yubel and her family often had to sew their own clothes, but she was never quite good at it. On the other hand, Yubel's sister was a master with fabric. She was able to use scissors and cut through things so smoothly with such a pleasant sound, it left a core memory in Yubel's mind, something that she is able to visualize vividly and clear. And, you know, magic is all about visualization. Yubel's signature spell is known as Real Sadine, a simple magic with one use, being able to slash almost anything within a 5-meter radius of Yubel's body. Despite being a basic spell, its trajectory is almost impossible to follow by the untrained eye. It can be blocked by defensive magic, but this is because the ability can only be blocked by things Yubel can't imagine herself cutting. Defensive magic is just that, magic that defends. Yubel visualizes the barrier blocking her attack. However, for reasons we'll get into, this ability is special. The true thing holding Yubel back from becoming a second-class mage was the situation that involved her disqualification when she took the respective exam. For the final phase, a mage named Berg, the first-class proctor of the exam, gave one simple task: cast a spell and force him to take one step backwards. Easy enough. However, Berg was well known for being a renowned defensive magic genius, wearing something he called the immovable cloak that had kept him from ever once being injured since becoming a first-class mage. When paired with Yubel, despite every ounce of mana and the multiple different defense and barrier techniques used to craft the cape, not only did Real Sadine cut through the immovable cloak, it slashed Berg down the middle, killing him immediately. This is why Yubel, despite only being third class, is vastly underestimated, and this is something that constantly works to her benefit. As someone with a very sly and devilish personality, Yubel isn't afraid to cause trouble or even kill someone that steps out of line. In fact, her introductory scene is a group of bandits descending upon her, thinking Yubel to be a defenseless little girl all alone in the forest. Promptly though, the elf Kraft, a character we met earlier in the series, defeats the bandits and saves Yubel. However, upon further explanation, Kraft admits he was saving the bandits from Yubel, as he came across a pile of sliced up corpses along his path just before and didn't want these criminals to suffer the same fate. Unlike previous mages who are ruthless in a cold way, Yubel is much more playful, enjoying the thrill of battle itself and dragging fights out in order to fully immerse herself in the kill. She isn't completely evil and does have a human side, but even this can be turned on its head to become nefarious for the mage. Yubel has come to believe that a person's specialized magic is something that originates from deep within them, being born from a collection of experiences and moments that has crafted the person into who they are today. Her intellectual understanding of magic and the poetic way she's able to trace back the roots of her slashing spell are something that make even a first-class mage proctor like Sense impressed, considering Yubel a genius and an awful matchup. But this high intellect does more for her than help her get one over on her opponents or stay one step ahead. It also allows her to break down and understand a person's signature spells and then copy them. Essentially, using Yubel's philosophy on magic connecting to a person's most core qualities, Yubel uses what she considers to be empathy to do her best to try and understand her opponents. This is what created her habit of having long drawn-out conversations mid-battle, not just because of the fact she likes to hear herself talk, but Yubel is able to slowly analyze and recreate a person's signature magic by coming to empathize with them on a legitimate level. For example, in her battle with Yubel, after she is frozen by his binding spell Sorganil, Yubel opts to drag out the endgame and ask Yubel about his time at war. Yubel, someone who still tends to hesitate before making a killing blow, despite having killed hundreds of times before this, indulges Yubel, as he doesn't see the harm in this. However, not only does this give Yubel enough time to parse out how Sorganil works, it allows her to see just the kind of guy Yubel is. And even though Yubel is conniving and full of tricks, The most real thing about her is her condition to copy, as Yubel truly must empathize with a mage to steal their move, as shown by her inability to copy her party member Land's spell because of his standoffish nature. Even though she did break down some walls and gain acquaintanceship with the illusionist, they couldn't truly empathize with each other. Because of this potential to grow unrestrained and copy countless spells of varying levels and elements, Yubel is a serious threat as a mage. This skill she has to develop and grow in a moment's notice is made clear by the fact she defeats herself as a clone. Although this is due in part to Land creating the opening she needed. Not only was she able to defeat a first-class mage proctor during the second phase of the mage exam, during the second phase of the mage exam of current day, Yubel defeats another proctor in the mage sense. Although this is just a clone, Sense seems to believe this outcome would be the same if they were to actually fight as well. And considering these clones are meant to be of equal power, it's definitely not a fluke. Yubel uses her intuition and this quote-unquote X factor to justify the risks she takes in battle. This is the reason, despite her self-admitted inexperience, she can tackle seemingly impossible threats. In conclusion on female Sukuna, it's safe to say Yubel is the certified frieren smoke demon. Her skill for battle and adapting to surpass her opponents in the blink of an eye is commendable, and something that will only get better with time. It's also terrifying to think there are even more spells she could have chosen not to show, and a scary question is, what kind of magic does someone that can copy any spell she wants wish for?